Hi everyone, it's Fairbrother here. Just going to record a screencastify for those of you who are unable to make it to our differing back to school night. I really appreciate everyone's flexibility and understanding. It was not my goal to miss 2 days of school within the first 3 weeks, but life happens and I just really appreciate y'all and your understanding. So just to go over the agenda, first I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience, myself, our schedule, SEL, information about language arts, math, social studies, science, IB. I'm going to explain IB to everyone and what we're doing and implementing it in the classroom. STAR, birthdays, and then homework, additional learning, grades, and a Q&A. So because I'm recording this as a screencastify, if this is the modality in which you're viewing our back to school night, if you have any questions, email me, call me, text me, message me on Constella, whatever works best for you. Okay, so a little bit about me. This is my 4th year at Brykerwoods. I can't believe it. I came to Brykerwoods the year, I guess, August 2020. So the year that we all came back in increments. This is I can't believe it, my 11th year teaching. I previously taught 1st, 2nd, and 4th grade at Oak Springs Elementary, which is located on the east side of Austin. So I have a very wide range and realm of experience. At Brykerwoods, my first year I taught 3rd grade, and since 4th grade is my favorite, I then moved to 4th grade the following year, and that is where I intend to stay. For college, I attended the University of New England, and I received a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education. It's located in Maine. It was time of my life. I loved it. And then currently I'm a national board teaching candidate, which basically in itself is like attaining a master's within AISD, and you're provided a lot of professional development, differing modalities and ways of teaching, and being very reflective over your teaching practices and how to improve. And that's just my vibe. So a little bit about me. Oh, also, I'm from a teaching family. I think I mentioned this in my email. My mom was a speech pathologist for a number of years. She would not like for me to say the amount. And my sister currently teaches kindergarten at Hill Elementary. So we are a teaching family. My contact information: everyone has my email and phone number, my planning times. So our schedule has been something that we have as a grade level. I've been trying to memorize and adjust to. So Monday, Thursday, Friday, from 9:55 to 10:40, I'm available. 1:45 to 2:30 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm available. I was just told today, however, that on Mondays and Wednesdays, we are now going to have, as a team, we're going to have our PLCs, which stands for Professional Learning Committee, on Mondays and Wednesdays. So I'll clarify that in an email if need be. I am available during the planning times, and I'm also available before or after school by appointment. The only day that does not work twice a month is Tuesdays because of CAC and my national board meetings, and Wednesday because of something I have after school. Okay, so please, if you have not already, schedule a conference with me by using the sign-up sheet, email, or by request. You can call me, text me. If you're like, Fairbrother, can you just plug my name in at this time? I got you. I understand. The Excel spreadsheet can be real fun. So communication, as we know, I do a weekly newsletter. I usually try to send that out on Fridays. This past week I sent it out on a Sunday, but I usually get those out by Friday. Constella, I think I've mastered the art of an announcement. Constella's been a little bit of a learning curve for me, so we're still figuring that out. Social media, we have an Instagram page, Fairbrother People. I also have a Twitter, and Fairbro People, yes. And I mostly post on Fairbrother People on Instagram because it seems to be the most well-liked source of social media. We also have a Brykerwoods Instagram that I run, and it's literally just called Brykerwoods. And then, of course, available by email, phone, or conference. Okay, this is our schedule. We arrive, we do announcements. We always do a morning meeting. This is new this year for our team. We're starting with math. We do math fluency and then a spiral review, meaning we go back to topics that we have previously taught so that our students are able to still continue to conduct those skills with fidelity. And then we have our math core instruction, which is our main task. Like, what are we learning today? What's our learning goal? And then guided math, meaning I'm meeting with groups and our kids are doing station activities. And I showed them 4 stations today, and they seem to be a little pumped about it. A little bit of a transition, so everyone can just get a little brain break up in there. PE, we have, as I mentioned, Monday, Thursday, Friday only. And then when we come back, we start with our writing core, which is what is our learning target for writing? What are we focusing on? And then writing workshop for 45 minutes where I'm conferencing with students, and then also having students peer conference with each other. That's something I'm going to implement probably next week. And then from 11:45 to 12:15, it's intervention slash extension time, which is basically, it's for 30 minutes. And as a teacher and as a team, we're going to decide and ascertain what skills do our students need that direct intentional intervention. So that's a nice 30-minute time. And then from 12:15 to 12:30, we have grammar. And then, as I said earlier, we have the luxury of having the last lunch of the day. It is a really long block. And I have to say, just on a personal note, I'm so proud of our kids because they have just like gone with it and just flowed with it. And they're wonderful. Also to note, on the days that we don't have PE, so like Tuesday and Wednesday, I take them outside during the 9:55 to 10:40 time with their snack and for them to read for a little bit. And then they go to the lower field, walk around. Sometimes they want to play like soccer, whatever. So they get that outside time because we also have the last recess. And because of the insane heat right now, that sometimes in accordance with the AISD rules and regulations for that, we are unable to go outside. So we made a compromise with our administration, and we are wanting to ensure that our kids get to go outside and just have that break and just get that just vitamin D and get it rolling. Okay. Lunch, 12:30 to 1. Reading core, meaning like what are our main learning targets in reading, and then guided reading when I'm meeting with groups. And then similar to math, and they'll have differing reading stations. And then science or fine arts. So on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, we have fine arts from 1:45 to 2:30. And then on Thursday, that will be the time designated for science. However, we're also working as a team to figure out how to then, on certain days that we don't have PE or intervention time, spiral in science, but most likely during our intervention and extension time, so that our kids are exposed to as much science as possible. And again, we have the luxury of having the last recess of the day. Come October, we'll love it. And then we always end our day with a closing circle and dismiss. SEL, so the social emotional learning component of our classroom. We have a morning meeting every single morning at 7:50 a.m. So we watch the Brikerwoods News, and then we always go and have a morning meeting. I like for it to be student generated, especially in 4th grade. So oftentimes I ask them, I'm like, so what's a question that you think could stimulate a conversation and you would learn something about another classmate? And that's proved to be really fruitful. They really enjoy it. Closing circles at the end of the day, similar to a morning meeting. However, it's more of from a reflective stance. A lot of times, I always call it, let's catch the vibe. Where's your pedometer, if you will? Green for I'm cool, Fairbrother, I got it. Blue for I'm tired. red for I'm feeling some type of way. So that gauge, they've enjoyed that. And then brain breaks, believe me, we have been embedding those to include in order to support student focus, because I am strongly a fan of that. Okay, so now we're going to get into the content. So these are the items that your students, or your child, will be learning within language arts. Reading and writing fluency. They will develop oral language skills, being able to speak interpersonally with one another and in complete sentences. Reading comprehension, reflecting about what they've read. Writing workshop, very project-based. With writing, I am a firm believer in students should be authors and illustrators. For instance, in this section, published authors, your child will be writing a fable, poetry books, graphic novels, something that will be a surprise for y'all in December. And then hopefully near the end of the year, an autobiography, because I did that in 4th grade and I still have mine, and it proves to be a powerful experience. And it's a really good writing piece to have. And then creative writing, poetry, reading response, reflections, fiction, personal narrative. We just started our personal narratives, and I can already tell our kids are going to love it. Math, here are math topics: place value, fractions, geometry, multiplication, division, measurement, financial literacy, problem-solving skills, and graphs. So, and also, I say this every year, the best way to prepare and practice skills in math is to practice your math facts regularly. The automatic retrieval of being able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide is vital to success in 4th grade. I know it seems cumbersome, especially with the multiplication and division aspect, because we have not gotten to multiplication or division, but the memorization of those facts is vital. And we can talk more about that as the year goes on. Social studies. So we will learn about communities, historical figures, friendship skills, which ties to SEL, which also is a part of the IB-PYP program of being transdisciplinary. American history, Texas history and folklore, African American History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, Women's History Month, and U.S. government. Science. Again, with the transdisciplinary theme of the IB-PYP program, it's inquiry-based scientific investigation. We will study matter, energy, force, and motion, effects on the shape of the earth, ecology, life and environment, how life and the environment interact, light and sound, and astronomy. Okay, so IB-PYP, our International Baccalaureate Primary Years Program. So I'm sure some of you might be wondering, what is PYP? So we are currently a school of candidacy for the IB Primary Years Program. IB-PYP, it offers a transdisciplinary, meaning all subjects are connected. I'll give an example after. Inquiry-based, meaning hands-on, higher order level of thinking, and student-centered education with responsible action at its core, meaning students are becoming their own agent of learning. They're taking that role on, and it's getting to that next level of ownership and back to the student agency. It allows them to become risk takers and learn between, across, and beyond traditional subject boundaries. So currently, our unit of inquiry is called Who We Are, and that's why we sent home the cultural questionnaire and had our students bring an artifact. We're still waiting for all those materials to arrive, and then we'll get rolling on the rest of the summative tasks that our students will conduct within this unit of inquiry. So some of the things that they'll be doing: they will complete a culture interest survey, which is the questionnaire. They'll bring in an artifact. And then as a team, we're very intentional on how to select literature that represents different cultures. Also having students with that transdisciplinary theme, when they go to the library, talk to Ms. Kettler, being like, hey, Mrs. Kettler, like, this is my culture. Is there a book that connects to it? And that's also the power of reading as well. And then they'll select another form of media that represents their culture, like maybe through song, dance, social media, just yes. And then our fairy tale unit is coming up, and we'll read fairy tales from other countries to broaden their literary perspective, and then bringing in different individuals to inform students of their personal culture. That's something as a team we're still working on and figuring out the finite details of. And then these are some of the books, I should say, that will lead to the summative product of our unit of inquiry of who we are. Our kids are going to create a culture quilt to represent different aspects of their culture, food, clothing, traditions, and values. And then each class will make one, and it'll be hung up in the hallway so that everyone can be reflective and understand what our unit of inquiry, like what was the task at the end that shows that you ascertained what the approaches to learning were and the learner profile attributes. So also on a personal note, I went through the IB program when I was in high school. I was a certificate candidate. So right now we're at PYP, primary years program. And then it goes to middle years program, and Murchison Middle School has that, and then Anderson High School has either diploma route or certificate. I think now it's just diploma. I was certificate. I loved it. It made me think in a theoretical way. It allowed for me to step outside of my box and think about different cultures. We wrote an essay. It was called an internal assessment. And it was sent off to Sweden for them to revise and edit and score, come back. And it was just that really cool, just cultural interaction. I was like, wow, someone from Sweden's reading my writing. And then you receive 3, I was in IB psychology, IB English, and IB history. So you receive 3 certificates, and most colleges accept those as credit. Just a little bit personal background. STAR. Our students will take the state of Texas assessments of academic readiness in reading and math. Within reading, writing is embedded. I do not know the dates at this time. It was not available for me on the TEA website. Birthday treats and party invites. We're going to follow AISD's policy regarding birthday celebrations. Students may bring individual treats for students that will be passed out at the end of the day. Students are not allowed to bring food items and eat them during the day. And also, no items with walnuts or pecans. And if you plan to send birthday invitations through school, every child in the class must be invited. Homework. So, homework is optional. Students will read 20 minutes every night with an optional reading log. And then they're to track the title and author and write a comprehensive response to a question that I've written on there. Students will have Monday to Monday of the next week to finish their logs. Optional 10 minutes of free writing. And then math. Homework will be sent home in increments of Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday. And additionally, this will be considered optional as well. Breikerwitz, from what I understand, is a optional homework campus or something to that term. So it's pretty much up to your grade level. And so as a grade level, this is what we've decided. Additional learning. We have SEL and morning meetings, counseling lessons once or twice a month, library with Mrs. Kettler every week, PE, music, and art. Grades. So in 4th grade, similar to 3rd, students' grades are on a percentage scale. I will let you look at that. They have multiple opportunities to improve grades, come in many forms, from projects to small group to paper and pencil. Also, grades are not always an indicator of STAR scores. STAR is a single snapshot, while grades are growth throughout the 9 weeks. Okay, that was a lot of talking. I really thank you. I hope that made sense for those of you that were unable to make the back to school night. And let's go Team Fairbrother. I love our group already. I feel so lucky. If you need anything, please let me know. Thank you so much.